video we're going to be making some primal or paleo brownies. So really delicious and squidgy and lovely texture, but really high in protein. We're using some natural sweetener instead of sugar, so they're actually good for you as well. So if you need the recipe, just follow the link below the video. Enjoy. The only problem with working with coconut oil is that it's solid at room temperature, so particularly in the middle of winter here. So what I usually do is just get the jar and I pop it in. I've just turned the oven on to heat up, so I'll just pop it in for a few minutes to soften, so it'll be easier to weigh. I've just got a 20cm square tin here, so all we're going to do is just turn it over, and just got some baking paper. So that's 8" I think. Just form it your corners like so. Doesn't have to be too neat, and then turn it back over, and all paper should stay nice at the side, so that's ready to go. And we'll get our chocolate ready. So I've got 150 grams of dark chocolate here. I'm using 85% cocoa solids, but 70%, any 70% or more would be fine. So we'll just break that up. Coconut oil has melted, so we'll weigh it out. We want 70 grams or 2.5 ounces. So that's bang on the money there. Good one. That's all I had left too, so that's lucky. So I'm just going to get that on to melt completely. So I'll just pop it on the stove for a couple of minutes. Completely melted, or if you could use butter when your butter's completely melted. We'll just grab our chocolate that we've smoked up and pop it in, and just leave it to stand for 5 minutes or so for the chocolate to melt. Okay, so after our chocolate stood for a couple of minutes, just give it a good stir, and it should be all melted, which it is, which is great. And then we'll get our stevia in, or whatever sweetener you're using. So this one's actually, it's called Nat Viera. It's using, the main ingredient's erythritol, which is a naturally occurring nectar found in fruit, and then there's using stevia, which gives it the sweetness. So I think the erythritol gives it the kind of chemical properties of sugar and the baking properties, so that's going to help with the browning reactions. So just give that a stir in, and then we'll get our eggs in. So we want 6 eggs, so they're quite high protein, these brownies. So just break eggs and give each one a quick stir, and get the next one in. 3, 4, 6. So that's 6 eggs in. We'll just give that a really good stir. And so you want to break up the yolks and just kind of mix everything in together. That looks really like chocolate pudding. Okay, so when you can't see any more bits of yolk and it looks fairly smooth, like that does. Great, then we'll just add our Coke. Oh, we'll add a pinch of salt, and salt just masks or gets rid of bitterness, so masks bitterness. So the bitterness that we're going to be getting from the chocolate, the salt's just going to dial that down and make it taste lovely and creamy. So the final ingredient is our coconut flour. So just weigh that out, and we don't need very much. This is a bit of a crazy flour. It absorbs moisture like anything. It's really unique, but it's also high in fibre, so it's great to use for baking. So we want 50 grams, which is 1 3/4 ounces, the coconut flour into the brownie mixture. And you need to be careful. If you add too much coconut flour, it's really going to dry out the brownies, because it has this ability to suck up moisture. So just make sure you're careful with your measurements there. So it's looking a little bit lumpy, so we might just get the whisk onto it. And just scrape. Yum, it looks so glossy and just delicious. and then we just want to smooth into the corners so we have a fairly even layer. And we're ready to bake. So it's not going to take very long, only we'll check it after 15 minutes. Okay, so we can see the brownies are looking quite cooked on the edges there. They're looking actually really firm, but they're still a little bit glossy in the middle, so that's fine. I'm going to get them out because we don't want them to overbake. If anything, I like them a little bit on the underbaked side. Brownies have come out of the oven, and just because we don't want them to overcook, so I'm just going to lift the paper out and just leave it to cool there on a cooling rack. I mean, you can leave it to cool in the tin, but there's just a risk that they'll dry out, and I'm a bit worried that they're a little bit overcooked on the edges there. And that's pretty much all there is to making brownies.